Hi, fellow tea lovers. Settle in.
The word is about. There's something evolving.
I'm Nell.
And I'm Rose.
Whatever may come, the world keeps revolving.
We've got a story.
They say the next big thing is here, that the revolution's near. But to me it seems quite clear that it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
We're bringing you the tea.
Across era.
Yes, I've seen it before. Just little bits of history repeating.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, happy Monday.
It's Monday for us.
Always is. Usually.
Most of the time
It's a Monday of a Sunday for sure. I used to pull that out at the funeral job all the time. When someone said, how's your day? Like, it's a Monday of a Sunday. I'm like, yeah, because nobody could get offended by that.
Right, what are you supposed to say about that? I don't even know if I get it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
okay.
good euphemism does that. I'm just like, I feel the same thing that you're feeling. I'm not totally sure what you're talking about, but yeah.
But I think I feel that.
Well, it's been a beautiful springy week here. It's been high juggling event season, at least for the last weekend. So we've spent a lot of time in parks. And yeah, but it's like it's not
When
the burning
sun's
heat
out,
of
it's
summer.
not bad.
that it's
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in the sun, like you definitely, bring a sweater, bring your kit. But it's been really nice kind of park hangouts and juggling for us this week.
Okay, because I was going to say, I went to the farmer's market at the other park on Saturday, and that was like 9 a.m., and it was pretty chilly in the shade still.
The nice thing about the park they've been meeting at is that it's got quite a deep bowl shape, and like the wind is not really an issue. It's just when the sun goes down, you can't be like chasing the sun patches.
Yeah.
Well, so to start out, this first bit that I want to talk about isn't related. It is kind of related to today's topic.
It's related to previous episodes.
It's definitely related to previous episodes, but so I have to make a retraction of a recommendation that I've been making for years, and it does really make me sad, but I can't in good conscience just leave my previous recommendation as it stands. So if you listen to the Pigments episode, which self-plug, go listen to the Pigments episode, it was fun.
It was fun.
I told the story of Stuart Semple and Vanta Black.
Which was so interesting and inspired me to way early order your birthday present from him.
And the thing is, I really did like his paints in the beginning. I thought it was really innovative. I loved the styling. It is performative in a lot of ways, but it had that
super annoying performative art.
Yeah, avant-garde, we're trying something new kind of feel, and I was always down for that. I even did one of the beta tests for Whitest White.
I forgot about that. That's right.
So if you haven't heard that episode, just a very quick, fast catch-up, was Stuart Semple is best known for his fight with an artist called Anish Kapoor.
Yep.
Who is most famous for his piece in Chicago that's technically called Cloudgate, but everyone calls The Bean.
The Bean, yeah.
It's a giant mirrored bean, so that would be why you call it that. And oh my gosh, I've been reading Dresden Files. I'm catching up because the new one just came out.
I'm like 30 books behind.
Oh my gosh. There's several references to the bean, and it's hilarious that made it into the fantasy canon.
I love that.
I think it's neat. But yeah, so they had a famous fight over what was originally the world's blackest black. It's like fourth in line now, but Vanta Black was cutting edge when it came out.
But it wasn't even like paint.
Yeah, it's a pigment. It's putting it on something required lab access. It wasn't easy to get. It wasn't easy to use. It was made for industrial purposes. And then Anish Kapoor comes along and copyrights the color for artistic use, which I do disagree with. The thing about the whole Stuart Semple story is I did agree with him on his public positions most of the time.
Right. But that's what happens. We don't know a whole lot about people. They get popular for one public position and you're like, oh yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, exactly. We must align on everything. We do not.
Nope.
Spoiler. So I've been ordering from them for a really long time. I've been recommending from them for a very long time. There was it was this hilarious art world story. People just being petty and bitchy, but in ways that weren't actually like hurting the world, unlike a lot of the petty and bitchy that happens around these days.
Right.
And it was just a funny story that I loved coming back to because he kept tacking things on. I think at one point he actually legally changed his name to Anish Kapoor. And like, he definitely got sued by the Yves Klein estate and lost because he made a pigment called Klein Blue, which Yves Klein is famous for being. I don't know if he was the first, but he was one of the first people to copyright a pigment recipe. And so that was just taking a run at stupidity.
Right.
I will also, because Stuart Semple is definitely a man that has his lawyer on speed dial at this point, I'm going to just take a moment to say that anything that I am talking about in this episode with regards to Stuart Semple or Culture Hustle is based on my own verifiable experience and third-party publications.
Amen, sister.
Just saying.
I got my own experience with him.
Mm-hmm. And, it was always weird ordering from them. It was never gonna be there quickly. I quite often got things that had exploded in packaging, and I would blame the shipper, or it had not been expertly packaged in the first place. I'm like, oh, well, they're hand making these pigments. Maybe somebody just had a sore wrist that day. Gosh, isn't that real? I gave them all of the excuses in my head that I could. At one point on their website, they had this disclaimer on the help page that was like, stop bothering us unless you really need it, because we're not going to respond, bitches, basically. That's me paraphrasing, but like, it no uncertain terms, do not ask us. It will take us longer.
Okay.
I was like, oh, well, passionate artist. I wanted to like the concept so much because I really
exploding
loved...
bad packaging reminds me of something else, but I'll go tell you about that in a minute.
Oh, yeah. No, but I just really loved like the idea of using brand new innovative paints, and the kinds of innovations he was doing really lent themselves to my art.
Right.
What's the exploding package story? I'm dying to know.
Well, there's this company, they make bath bombs called Lush, and they don't have I don't think they have like a warehouse or manufacturing thing in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you get these bath bombs that are, they're made of what? Baking soda? I don't know what bath bombs are made of.
Stuck together powder.
You get it, and it's like in a box of not styrofoam peanuts, but it wasn't packaged well, and like the box got wet and it melted halfway through, or like it crumbled to the dust. Mm-hmm. And so you're calling customer service and they're basically like, bummer, dude.
That sucks. Want to order more?
No, this was a $12 bath product.
Because it can be the shipper's fault, but if you didn't set yourself up for success in the first place, then...
I don't know if it's the shipper's fault with them. I don't order from them anymore, but I've ordered enough things from them that I was like, no, we're done.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. And I knew that you had the experience with the birthday present, because, Nell just gave up and was like, so I got to get you something else for your birthday, because your birthday present's never coming. I did a chargeback on my card, and I don't blame you.
I tried to order your present, like, I thought it came from England. I don't know where it comes from still. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I was ahead of the game for once in my life, and like ordered it 6, 7, 8, I don't know, weeks early. And then it was like radio silence. Y'all, it wasn't cheap. It was like, what, $100 for 2 paints, $75 for 2 things of paint? I don't know.
You paid handmade premiums.
Yeah, and I was down with that. But silence. Finally, I start emailing, and after maybe 6 or 7 emails, I get a reply from Culture Hustle, who I don't know if I thought they weren't related to the artist, if they were just like the arm that handled shipping. I didn't know what it was, but they were like, oh, our bad, it's taking forever, like things have happened. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And after like a few more months, I'm like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. And I never got a satisfactory answer, so I just disputed it because I paid for it with PayPal, and PayPal, maybe they just knew, because they were like, here's your money back, bye. And then months and months after that, I get like a generic email from not Culture Hustle, but from like Stuart Semple, or I don't know, whoever the representative is.
Because Culture Hustle is his company.
Which I am now aware of. Mm. And they're like, hey, guess what? We're working on it. And I was like, bruh, don't bother. I did a chargeback. Like, I got my money back and I don't want it.
Yeah.
And like, if you had even kind of kept in communication, I might want it. And they were like, oh, cool. Because I have a friend who buys a lot of stuff off of Kickstarter, mm-hmm. and she's like, sometimes it takes forever, like more than a year.
That's the thing sometimes.
But they tell you about it.
And that was my biggest thing the whole time, was that his lack of communication. I have an entire series of pieces that were originally inspired by using Black 2.0, which was his version of Vantablack. So I was really invested in getting it. I'm not on a timeline. I could wait. And so I decided to take advantage of the Black Friday sale on November 20th, something, 5 or 7, somewhere around November 20th.
Okay.
That date's important.
Oh.
And I splurged on myself. I was like, I definitely need more of the black, but I really want to try a bunch of these things. I love the glow in the darks. I want to try and get a whole horde of those. I'm going to treat myself. And I knew it was going to take forever. So I order in November, complete silence. I decide to check in January.
Okay.
Fairly quickly I got, and now this is a little bit my bad because I actually am not great at identifying AI responses because I don't use it.
Right.
And so
She doesn't use it.
I literally have no idea how one would chat GPT. And I'm okay with that.
It's not a job requirement, but daggum, sometimes the people above us act like it is.
I'm gonna say it again. I spent too much time and money learning how to write correctly to give a robot my job and pay them for the privilege.
It's also super annoying because it's not annoying. It's a credit to Rose. It'll be like, write out your SMART goal. And they're like, yeah, I use ChatGPT like I did. Mm-hmm. And Rose's SMART goal not only was better than what ChatGPT wrote, she did it herself.
It does organically annoy me, like for just all the reasons, but that's a side quest we don't need to go on again. Everybody knows.
So was your response AI?
Yeah, it was totally AI.
But you know what? In my case, how hard would it have been to make a generic response to send out to everyone who was like, so I ordered like 8 months ago. What's happening?
And it was so nice. I was so extra nice because it was like, if it's taking this long, you guys must be stressed. I feel really dumb.
Don't feel dumb.
But so I get this response that's just like, we have a real human. And I did think that was weird. We have a real human on your case now that has, we've flagged this as a priority.
Real human.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, in retrospect, totally a robot. And so I don't remember how I got there, but the Culture Hustle subreddit popped up and did some search, and I go start looking through it. That is a wild place. It started out as an appreciation sub, like just, hey, I got this cool new paint. Look what I did with it. You guys try it. And it has slowly morphed into a fuck Culture Hustle hub. Because it's just where everybody that's gotten screwed gathers and basically like trades advice on class action lawsuits and chargebacks. And
Lisa gives you over 500 days.
Yes, apparently.
That's what I learned. Yeah, literally 5 minutes ago I learned that.
Yeah, and I'm reading all of these experiences that are exactly the same. That's how I realized that was an AI response, that people had been getting screwed in multiple countries for more than a year.
Not just the USA?
Not just the USA. And so because I was kind of camped out on that subreddit a little bit because I was mad, and I like reading other people's mad. Thank you. I'm not the only one. Appreciate you. And somebody posted an email that they had gotten that claimed to be addressing the U.S. distribution issue.
Oh.
I'm doing air quotes right now. So, and it turned out I had gotten that same email. Just, how often I check my personal email.
When I check mine, I'm all, wow, this is overwhelming. And then I delete everything.
I do always overwhelming. And then I delete like 3 pages of things and continue to let it be overwhelming. Yeah, it's not an approach. But it was this long, sad email that was like, we are so sorry we didn't communicate this with you better, but we're ready to let you know what happened.
Oh.
To all of our U.S. customers that are having distribution issues. And apparently they claim that the November 5th UPS plane crash in Kentucky was across the street from their distribution center. And because of that disaster, they were denied access to their warehouse until last week.
When did you order?
I ordered 20 days after that accident happened, and I ordered products that were listed in stock.
So they're like, yeah, they were in stock, but we let you order them knowing that we didn't have access to our warehouse?
Exactly.
Is that what they're saying?
Exactly.
Allegedly?
Allegedly. No, not allegedly. You let me place an order when you knew you didn't have the stock. For whatever reason you didn't have the stock, I can only speculate because you're clearly lying. And then I'm so mad about this because he just acted like the Robin Hood of artists. And it's so pervasive in, I have to say it, classical art world, because he is part of the classical art world. He sees the counterculture, he wishes to be a part of it, and then he decides to just be the man.
I didn't I mean, what do you mean he's part of the art world? Because is he an artist? He just sells paint, which is cool. That's not but that's what he does, right?
Question. He's an artist first and foremost, and I could not tell you what a Stuart Semple piece looks like. Who fucking knows?
Oh, okay.
He wanted to be Andy Warhol, and he just turned into another Constantine.
Googling right now what a Stuart Semple piece of art looks like.
He's the metaphorical subject of 12 Moments in the Life of an Artist, which is also an obscure reference, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. He wants the cred, but has not got the bread. I mean, can you even find any?
Well, it brought up his website, which, he's got these neon colors called Joose, Joose.
Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be in the pack I got.
That's what Jeep calls one of their colors. That's interesting. Huh. I mean, there's probably a reason behind it that I have literally no clue.
That's interesting, though.
Stuart Semple art home. Oh.
Wait, fork it over. I want to see this.
Okay, look. I'll fork it over in a second. I have to say, there's a lot of things in art that I don't like, and I think that's totally fair. You like what you like, and you don't like what you don't like, right?
Right.
So I find performance art boring and usually dumb for the sake of being dumb, and it's not all of that. But I don't know, just scroll through some of these. It's like spray paint vibes. There's it looks like a yellow ball with a happy face on it smushed between two buildings. And I'm sure that means something. I took enough art classes in college as my extra curriculars to know that it means something to someone. I'm a hater artist. If I wouldn't hang it on my wall, I'm not interested in it. And I know that's a very hatery point of view.
My opinions on modern art have evolved a lot, and it's not just because I'm actually, it turns out, an abstract surrealist myself.
You are.
But I think that whether or not you enjoy a piece doesn't have to be material to whether or not you believe it to be important. And I think enjoyable pieces sometimes are not important, and important pieces are sometimes not enjoyable.
Also true.
From just a glance at those pieces, they're very performative.
They remind me of and not in a bad way, because I love graffiti and spray paint art, but a lot of them remind me of that.
Yeah, it can be important and it can be pleasing, and they don't necessarily exist in the same sphere. It just seems kind of tired, like it's something that would have been crazily innovative at maybe a different period in time.
That's it, the different period in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe they remind me of something else, which isn't a problem. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, maybe it's because all the names of them seem to be plays on names of other things.
Right.
Like My Sonic Youth.
It's your tribute album.
Well, that's fine. I don't mind tribute albums.
To round out the Stuart Semple bashing, because I will quit.
This is just our opinion.
This is just our opinion.
And we're poor.
And a bunch of other people's opinion, apparently. But
according to Reddit, allegedly.
According to Reddit, allegedly. So I was sitting on the Culture Hustle Reddit and saw somebody reference an article in a magazine called The Fence, which is a UK, I think, literary magazine. It felt like it was like a try at modernizing the New Yorker kind of style. It's like literary reviews and long form opinion pieces and fact pieces and interesting cartoons. It's like, it looked fun. And they were saying that there was an expose called The Pink is Pink in this magazine on Stuart Semple. I was like, I gotta read that. And then I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole because, bless their hearts, I actually am really excited to now be a subscriber to that magazine.
Oh, you're subscribing to a magazine.
I know.
Retro of you.
No, it's I'm worried because every magazine I've ever subscribed to has folded. So just
got your dad to get you a subscription to it all the time.
Yeah, that might have avoided the curse.
Because the ones that he sends to you, they're good magazines. They're very interesting, but they're not the ones that are going out of print.
That's super fair. But I'm okay with subscribing because I do really like their take is basically we don't care if you say print media is dying, we're doing it and we're doing it well. I'm like, respect. I will buy that magazine. But their website is unideal for the impatient reader, I will say.
Why? It's the internet.
I know, because you don't get immediate satisfaction, which was exactly what I was looking for.
Oh, no.
But it was this amazing contrasting customer service. So I subscribed. This is all happening this morning.
Okay.
I subscribed to the thing and go back to the website and like, haha, I'm going to read this whole article now. Because the first 3 pages that are on there are extraordinarily interesting. Like if you go to The Fence magazine, it's issue 27. The article is called The Pinkest Pink. And, oh, I had the author up in this.
Well, I'm not a subscriber, so I can't just Google it for you.
No worries.
Oh, yeah. I can see the headlines from the website, and it's not instant. This must be their last issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can read full articles, but they don't do it right away.
Because they're traditional.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's like, when we had to wait for the broadcast to get their shot at something, and then that we got loaded onto Hulu 3 days later.
Oh my gosh, remember those days? Remember when you used to have to watch stuff on the CBS.com website and it would never run appropriately and you would have 1,000 commercials and then it would just give up?
It was all grainy and stuff, and even though there's no reason for it to be.
That was in the days when your Netflix came in the mail.
No, we actually were some of the first to stream onto our TV because you could stream on the computer, and then we got the 15 cables that you needed to set up the computer on a little card table in front of the TV and then connect it so that you could go and add movies onto your Netflix queue at the computer, and it was then available on the TV.
Life was difficult back in the olden days, y'all.
5 trips to Target, I swear.
I just bought a slew of stickers because they were amusing to me. And some of them say, I hope this email finds you before I do. But one of them is an Oregon Trail pixelated wagon, and it says, be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s.
But I do have a pin on my desk right now that says you have died of dysentery, so.
Well, I bought enough of the stickers to go around because the work-related ones are too good not to share.
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
All right, so the article is by Finn Jennings. I go back to the website and I'm trying to access it, and I can't get anything except for what I have already read. And I'm like, okay, this is a UK publication. It is currently 6 p.m. there.
And I heard they don't work outside of normal business hours.
Really reasonable work practices from what I hear. So
love that for them.
Woohoo. But I emailed anyway, just put it, I figured it was going to be an auto response thing anyway. And just like, hi, I actually just subscribed to read issue 27, but I'm having trouble accessing it, blah, blah, blah. And half an hour later, I get an email back that has clearly been written by a person because it's actually conversational and referencing things that I have asked. And it's signed Charlie Baker.
The editor.
The editor. Now, okay, I would love, I hope that he answers his own emails after 6, but I also feel like I don't want that for him. Look, as a person.
Here's my thoughts on it as an American. He is doing print media mostly. He's not getting rich off of this. Therefore, his email comes to his phone. He sees it.
Right. Maybe I just caught him a good moment or something. I also think that maybe it would be a good business practice to have your customer service team sign Charlie Baker. I do not actually blame someone if that was their thing. Okay. But
true.
From what he signed, the email was from Charles, and he signs Charlie. So he says, hey, there's a glitch in the website that lets you sign up for a UK subscription for a US address. Sorry, I can refund that for you, though, and here's a coupon code. If I refund it and then you can re-sign up, you can get 30% off.
Why, as a non-tech person, speaking kind of to another non-tech person, what's the difference in the email address do? It's just what you can access? I can't access Canadian Netflix and I need a VPN or something fancy?
What it was actually, and I understand this because shipping rates are different, the UK subscription, the US subscription, and the European subscriptions are wildly different prices.
Oh, because you're also getting the paper magazine. Okay.
Yeah, I'm fully behind the cause for that. I'm also an immediate satisfaction person. Both can exist.
You know what's going to happen to the magazines, y'all? After we read them, they're going to become art projects.
Oh, yeah.
I've saved some tins for you, actually, some tea tins.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't tell your husband.
I know. He's like, you don't need more tins. I have one over there that I don't even remember what
that
magazine.
Pink one?
No, the one next to it, that has the books on the side.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see it, but it's like a line of books from some picture that the author was Fucks, so it's my tin of books.
Uh,
Yes, I decoupage. Shut up.
I like you.
I love it. But
So he
yeah,
actually answered you.
he
That's
actually answered
cool.
me. He actually fixed my problem. He actually extra fixed my problem because for the US price, I think I might not have subscribed. So the 30% was actually very helpful.
Nice.
And because I had referenced the Stuart Semple article, because I said, yeah, no, I appreciate that. I actually only subscribed for the Stuart Semple article, but I like the look of what you guys do. I'm excited to see more. And he replies back, like, yeah, that article's wild. Like, he's actually engaging in the conversation. And it's just the polar opposite of this, like, half AI, half lies, weird, like, we're still going to send you advertisements for paint you can't get from Stuart Semple himself.
Okay, so I just read like the first page of the article from Reddit or wherever it came from.
No, same. That's all I read.
And it said that at one point he got what I think is basically like a endowment for the arts type grant, their version.
Yeah.
But it says it came from the Pool Council. Is that pool like the location?
Pool is I believe, the location of his original studio, and I think is actually still the corporate headquarters from what I can tell. They did have a location in Kentucky, like that was real. When I was
okay.
receiving orders from them, they were coming from Kentucky. But yeah, the original company is in Poole, England, which actually is the same place as you were talking about Lush earlier.
I was just about to ask that. Maybe they don't believe in like
lead shielding
shipping.
Their pipes or something. I'm just saying, if more than one crazy pseudo cult like hippie comes out of a relatively small community, check the water.
I was in Lush just the other day returning my 5 empty pots for a face mask. Truthfully, I have like 7 million empty pots, and I wanted to get a different mask. It's not one of the fresh ones that you can get for free, but they didn't have the size I wanted. And it only lasts like 4 months. I can't use like a gallon-sized face mask for myself in that amount of time. I have such mixed feelings about that place because, like, the face mask I did get, I don't know what the scent is exactly, but it reminds me of something from back in the way olden days when I first discovered Lush, and they were fun. Because it was fun for a long time, and then, like, I never thought it was all natural, and I will also admit nowhere on any of their pamphlets or whatever does it say all natural, but doesn't it have that vibe?
It's got an all natural wig on, and somebody put it there. It's all painted up to be what you would imagine a green company looks like, but there is nothing green about it.
I mean, hot pink bath bombs can't possibly be all natural.
They're just not telling you about that.
Which is fine. I'm still buying it.
It's whatever, but the way they misrepresent themselves is
They used to drive me nuts because I don't want your employees chasing me around and touching me. And I am so social and outgoing, you guys.
Oh my God, it's different when a stranger is trying to rub you, and I wish that the poor people were allowed to stop because I'm very aware that
they do that anymore.
Really?
Well, so
it's been so long since I've
so
been
the last few times I've been in there, and I will say it's honestly like a year apart at this point. I don't think. Remember they used to have like green or black aprons? I don't know. They used to wear aprons. I haven't seen anyone in aprons. They definitely don't wear the black and white that they used to. Remember when that one first opened here? Everyone wore black or white, black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
And I honestly realized when I was getting my free face mask, picking it out, somebody was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I just kind of like glanced at them and assumed they weren't talking to me. And then later I realized it was the employee.
Oh, interesting.
But nobody bothered me. I totally appreciated that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Some of their stuff does need bothering though, because some of it, a lot of it looks edible, and like the solid lotion looks like soap. But I was like, you can't really lather up with a bar of lotion,
right? And need small amount of instruction,
right? And I mean, I don't know. There's some of their stuff I like, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't afford it anymore.
Oh my gosh, no! I used to shop at the one in York when I was in school.
Oh, okay.
And I loved the scents. It was all because it was very like witchy kind of, green mossy sort of scents.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and I remember I bought a couple of colognes for my husband that he still has a bottle of the last one, but one of them it was the smell of impromptu getting tickets to the Beltane Festival in Edinburgh and just, putting all of our pennies together for the train ride up in the hostel and then meeting
Nice.
other fire spinners. And like, that was the smell of that experience. I loved it. And that, I mean, we used to pay 20 pounds. No, we used to pay 10 pounds for the original bottle. In the US, it was 20 bucks. Totally made ish sense. It is $55 now. I'm like, I love you, sweetie, but let's find you a new one, please.
Well, I think back when I started, those face masks were like $5.95 or $6.95. I don't remember. And I haven't paid for one in a long time because I always have empties. I have shopped at Lush for 80 quadrillion years, and everyone in my life who shops at Lush gives me their empties, which I do appreciate.
Oh yeah.
But I think the mask I picked out for my free one was like $15.95.
Oh wow.
I sniffed a bunch of the shower gels. I do like shower gels, but I've gotten to the point where like I'm over the citrus, and Lush had way too much citrus for me for a while. But so there was like a Scooby-Doo one and a Mother of Dragons one, and
It's odd to me how many collaborations they've done.
the collaborations do confuse me.
It doesn't really because their whole shtick is, we're trying to save the world, and it has kind of turned more into we're trying to save our wallets feeling.
Not my wallet. But
Oh, not the customer.
yeah. And then there's like Mario something or other ones. I thought they all smelled bad. And look, I know sometimes Lush has like scents that just weren't made for me. Like Sikkim Girls. Remember that old perfume? Tons of
didn't
people
mind
loved it. It didn't
I
smell good
ignored
on
it.
me.
Yeah, no, Jasmine does okay on me.
A lot of the ones I sniffed just smelled like old Avon.
Yeah,
It was-
that powdery backing. There's some cheap ingredient that has that like mid-tone.
I prefer my Dove Bridgerton body wash and my Philosophy Margarita body wash.
Actually, we went on this whole rabbit hole mission for a Guerlain scent because we were sitting around talking to my folks, and I was trying to remember what my grandma used to wear because we were talking about scent memory, and I was like, what grandma smelled like was her fur coat covered in this particular perfume on a Sunday morning when we went a little bit early because Dad was the reader at the church. And I'd be tired and I'd snuggle up next to the fur coat smelling that perfume and fall asleep. Like that's grandma memory. And so we were trying to figure it out. It's called Shalimar, which I left at my parents' place, or I'd have you smell it.
Oh.
It's a lot. I had to like wrap the bottle in a paper towel because it's coming out. So it's Shalimar by Guerlain, who is also the manufacturer of L'Heure Bleu, which is the perfume that Claire wears in Outlander in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is classic. I mean, I knew Grandma was classic.
That's so fun.
And I really wanted to buy a little bottle, and it is still in production, and it is a lot, and I can't afford that.
No.
I'd love to get a bottle at some point, but
Before we move on to the next piece, maybe we are hating on Stuart Semple's business practices that have allegedly affected us. They have affected us. I'm not hating on Lush. I do think some of their practices are weird, but I think a lot of places are weird, and I still shop there.
The thing about Lush is the thing about a lot of companies in the happiness industry. It's
Yes.
really, it's a similar type of exploitation where maybe they do start with good intentions. And I mean, maybe Stuart Semple even starts with good intentions. I'd like to think so. You want to think that you're changing the world with the thing that you love. That's a goal that's worthy. But then you refuse to admit limitations and refuse to adapt to those limitations. And then you tell people not that these limitations exist, but they're actually there because it's their fault, because they're not doing it right. It's always the same slippery slope in the happiness industry where the people that are supposed to be curating a customer's happiness may not consider their own. And I hate that.
100%. I worry that Trader Joe's slips in that direction sometimes.
I don't think you're wrong. Because
too bad.
any place that has a philosophy.
They have the best peanut butter cups. Okay, let's move on to other things now.
It is related. So what I wanted to talk about today is a really, really famous artwork called Guernica.
Guernica.
Which I've been saying Guernica my entire life. And then as I was doing research for this, all of the documentaries and apparently John Oliver in the new episode that I was watching today says Guernica.
Well, I've never heard of Guernica or Guernica.
So I'm going to keep saying Guernica because otherwise I'm going to probably keep correcting myself, but I do apologize if it isn't the right pronunciation.
Leave us a comment and tell us, y'all.
Please. If you haven't seen the whole thing, you've definitely seen pieces of it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm an art hater. I will go to an art museum and look at every single thing in sight and appreciate it for the grandiose scale that it is. When I walked in here and saw that up on your background, I thought it was from an anime.
Okay, fair play. That's okay. You know, honestly, content-wise, it could be, and you'll see why.
Okay, perf.
So Guernica is one of the most famous pieces of modern art. It's okay if you've never experienced it. I stood in front of it when I was 12 years old and was that little girl in the photo that I have.
No wonder you
up on
think
the thing.
everybody knows about it.
I know.
I mean, what did I just say that?
When I got to see this when we were in Madrid, the Reina Sofia Museum, and
If you told me that was spray painted on a train car, I'd believe you.
And you'd be right, because it's one of the most reproduced works ever.
Okay. I mean, it's cool.
It's on t-shirts, it's on mugs. If you say anything art related, you could throw a piece of this picture up and somebody would be very likely to recognize it because it's just become synonymous with modern art.
Okay.
And, you know, I mean, to be honest, Mom and I were walking around that museum kind of like making fun of a lot of it because we weren't
modern art is rough.
fans. We weren't fans. We were classicists at the time.
Oh.
Because Mom did this really amazing thing that, like, because she's an artist, so she wanted to go see the art galleries and,
Yeah.
you know, try and drag a 12-year-old around. What are you going to tell them? So we would sit in every gallery and each of us had to pick out our favorite painting and then we had to guess the other person's favorite painting and say why.
Okay.
And it was just a really natural way to engage with the art that I appreciate so much to this day because it makes you consider it differently.
Yeah.
And it's a great game to play with kids in a museum, not gonna lie.
Right.
So my biggest memory from that museum was a different piece that I honestly couldn't tell you who the artist is, but it looked like a giant quilt with cartoon figures in every square. It was like a 9-patch. And so we sat in front of that for like an hour telling stories of the little stick figures that were in each patch. But we stood in front of Guernica and it's gigantic. It is I don't know if it was the biggest piece paint piece that he did. He did sculptures on like a municipal level.
Okay.
But this was painted by Pablo Picasso.
Really?
And, yeah. And the reason Picasso was super front and center this week was because I did something both silly and not silly and bought a ticket to the Picasso for €100 contest.
It was €100. I wondered how much it was.
It was, I know.
She texts me out of nowhere and gives me heart failure. You have a passport, right?
I did not.
And I've been on a news and social media blackout, so I'm like, oh, the world's ending. Gotta go to Mexico. I'm like grabbing the dogs. I'm ready to go.
Your passport's valid, right? Not realizing how alarming a way to ask this question it is. But I realized I'm sitting there reading the terms and conditions, trying to decide whether €100 is going to be worth the squeeze. And part of the terms was after the contest, you have 45 days to pick it up in person. And I was like, my passport's not valid. I cannot get a passport in 45 days right now.
We could leverage our parents, our pops, for a plane ticket, and then I could go pick it up.
Actually, no, it was going to be Christie's would pay for the ticket.
Oh,
Christie's
even
would have
better.
paid for the flight. I would have paid for your hotel because apparently that was not it was like an allowance of like €1,900 or something. So we probably could have made that work. Anyway.
I fly coach.
I was like, as long as somebody that I trust can go out and fly out and get this, then it's still okay.
You haven't said what this is, though.
All right, so the contest was that it's a raffle. But for €100, you get put in a pool of 160,000 tickets, which is better odds than the lottery.
Oh, way better.
To win a real Picasso. This particular year was a gouache, gouache being a type of watercolor. Painting, where'd it go?
Dang, you
called
could
Tête à Femme.
Win a whole Picasso for €100?
Right, valued at around €1 million.
That is a terrifying painting.
It's beautiful. I mean, it is.
I mean, I don't hate it.
It's
I like
and
it.
Wonderful, and a lot of why I like Picasso is because his paintings often encompass both.
Right.
Yeah, but it's verified. It was donated by his grandson. And this is actually the third one of these contests that they've run. So the first one was in 2013, and that was won by a Pennsylvania resident.
Ooh.
The painting was called L'Homme au Gibbous. which, to be honest, kind of liked Teta Femme better.
I mean, I don't know if I like either of them better. That one would go better on my wall.
It's true. It would go better with the colors.
Uh-huh.
But so the whole thing is that they pick a charity that this goes towards. So all of the raffle ticket prices for that year went to a preservation fund for the city of Tyre in Lebanon, a hugely important historic site.
Yeah.
In 2020, it was won by an Italian woman, and oh my gosh, her son bought her the raffle ticket as a Christmas present. I mean, can you just imagine if she has any other kids, they're screwed forever. Like,
Yeah.
well, little Jimmy got me a Picasso that year.
Yeah, he did.
And the painting being auctioned off there was called Nature Mort, which is the death of nature.
Oh.
That one I know. Which, I would
Oh, that's a 10 out of 10.
thrilled to own that one. Still life with a skull, you just can't go wrong.
Right, because still life can be so boring.
It can be boring and it can be amazing, and it's the same thing. It just depends on the
One of
context.
the best paintings I ever saw was at the Albuquerque Art Museum. What was that thing called way back in the day? Monet to Matisse or something? And there was a still life, but something about it was so good.
Yeah.
It was my favorite one. There's a literal bowl of fruit on a table.
There are still lifes that will just absolutely take your breath away, and then, there's
The ones that hang in your
grapes on a
grandparents'
table.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So this year, I sat at 6 p.m. Paris time trying to figure out what they were saying because, of course, I don't speak very good French.
Doing.
And then by the end of it, I had to mitigate my disappointment because it wasn't me on FaceTime, but,
Boo!
Oh. But point being, even though we didn't win a Picasso and we didn't get to send Nell to Paris on Christie's dime, we did donate 100 euros to Alzheimer research.
Nice.
So it's still a win. I still say this is more fun than the lottery.
I agree.
So, of course, Picasso was on my mind, and Guernica cannot be far behind when you're talking about Picasso. So just a tiny little snippet blurb of a biography for Picasso, because we've gone on for a bit.
Let's hear it. That's fine.
So he was born in October of 1881 in the city of Malaga in Andalusia, which is southern Spain. He was first trained by his father, who famously considered quitting art altogether in the face of his son's amazing talent. I think that happened when he was about 7.
Awkward. I didn't know Picasso was from Spain.
Yeah. Spanish national treasure.
Yeah.
The family moved to Barcelona in 1895 after the death of his sister, and Picasso always considered Barcelona his true home, although he spent a lot of his time in France.
Okay. Didn't a lot of artists go to France?
Oh, yeah. He was very formative in a lot of Parisian art movements, and Paris was the hub of artists for a lot of generations.
Oh, yeah.
In the 20s and 30s, the Parisian art scene was the cutting edge of counterculture and philosophy. This is where you're getting like Hemingway and Apollinaire fighting for ladies with Dali, and the Fitzgeralds hanging out in Gertrude Stein's house. That's the set that he was associating with.
Very fancy.
Oh, very fancy. And it's where we get a lot of our idea of like the tortured artist, or the artist as lover to his muse, or the artist philosopher that's being chased by the government. Like it's foundational to Picasso's world in Paris.
25 years ago, I would have found that so nice.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm all,
Nobody remembers
do you have a 401k and health insurance?
I know. I mean, a cold water flat in the Bowery sounds romantic, but now quite arthritic.
Yeah, hard pass.
He worked with the Parisian Surrealist movement in the 30s. He founded the Cubist movement.
Nice.
I think one of the things that I really appreciate about Picasso as an artist is that he transcended his own genre over and over again. He wasn't just one thing.
Right.
If you see a Monet, you know it's a Monet.
Yeah.
If you see a Picasso, sometimes like, whoa, that's a Picasso?
I thought it was anime.
Exactly. I love that about his art. I had a little fun fact list. His name has 23 words. His actual full name.
Almost as long as your given name.
I know, I sympathize. I have too many middle names.
What was his name?
Picasso was baptized Pablo Diego Jose Francisco de Paula Juan I'm not good at this one.
Skip.
Nepomuceno Maria de los Remedios Cipriano de la Santísima Trinidad Martir Patricio Clito Ruiz y Picasso.
When you get baptized, where do those names come from?
Don't know.
Was he
Your
just like,
baptismal
this
name
will
is
be
what gets
fun?
recorded. So it's basically like, I mean, if anybody's going, it's going to be fun. It'll be his parents.
Oh,
That's
it's like our version of a birth certificate.
yes. So that's going in the
Okay.
parish register.
I must have known a lot of people.
It encompasses a lot of family names, I think.
I
But
would think.
the moniker Picasso is actually from his mother, Maria, or excuse me, the Picasso part of his name is actually his mother's maiden name, Picasso y Lopez.
Sweet. Score one for the matriarchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love this one. I always like to point these out. Picasso was a terrible student.
The best artists are, my darling.
Sometimes geniuses are not built in a classroom. I always used to say that about whenever I was getting flack about my grades and be like, well, Charles Ives was a C student, which is also true. Excellent composer.
I mean, I can't speak to what the education system was like back then, but education system is built for like a generalized what works for a lot of people. It does
Exactly.
not work for everyone.
Exactly. All right, so next fun fact about Picasso. Did he steal the Mona Lisa? This is like, I didn't realize he was ever under suspicion.
Me neither.
So no, didn't steal the Mona Lisa, but one of his very dear friends, the poet Guillaume Apollinaire, was arrested under suspicion of theft of the Mona Lisa, and he immediately pointed at Picasso, like, well, he's a better, he's a better candidate than I am. Go get him.
Where was it stolen from?
It was stolen from the Louvre in 1911.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Turns out that it never left Paris, but it was stolen by a Italian nationalist that thought it should be repatriated. I don't really disagree.
There's a lot of stuff like that, ain't there?
Mm-hmm. So he's an extremely prolific artist. We were talking earlier about how he had so many different periods and so many different styles. He produced 147,800 pieces in his lifetime. So
Almost like you.
yeah, we're sitting here surrounded by the
I love it.
the dregs of my art. No, sitting
I
here
would
surrounded
say
by my
50% of my art wall is your art or art that I've made here with you
I
while
appreciate
leaning
that.
over your shoulder going, oh, that's interesting. I should do that.
I thought I had finished the New Year's painting. So we have a tradition in this house that we start a painting before midnight on New Year's, and then whenever you finish it in the year, you have to finish it before the year is up.
Yeah.
Whenever you do is immaterial. The one above the door was 2025.
Okay.
It's I thought I had finished 2026, and I think the eyes need something, but
Oh,
I
okay.
have to say that I have on that painting used the new blackest of black paints because I won't be
I can
using
tell.
Stuart Semple anymore, and it's such a difference, isn't it?
It looks like honestly, it looks like one of those velvet backgrounds.
Everyone has
It's
said
quite
that.
dense.
It's so beautiful. It's called Musso Black. It is much easier to access. I got mine on Amazon, and 10 out of 10. It's so much better than even the original Black 2.0, which you can see on the wall there.
It looks quite I mean, if I stare at that painting and then to the Black 2.0, that one almost looks more purple.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm super happy to have found a replacement. Thank you again, our Culture Hustle. And last fun fact, he was also a poet as well as a playwright.
Did any of that survive?
I believe so. I actually didn't go looking into it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a well-rounded cultural artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his most famous piece is Guernica, arguably. Although the first one of his I ever saw was Man with Guitar.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an anti-war protest piece.
Oh.
It was in response to the bombing of a city called Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. The way that I actually learned about the Spanish Civil War, this is the testament to the slapdashedness of our history education in this country. But when I learned about the Spanish Civil War, it was because we were watching Pan's Labyrinth.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I think that might be only time I've ever come across it.
It's not something that gets considered in a lot, especially like in survey courses when you're just trying to get through.
No.
It gets lumped in with, and this happened right before World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Spanish Civil War was a military coup that was attempting to take over a democratically elected government because they were actually more of a fan of the monarchy system.
Oh.
He was a monarchist to start with. It was a military coup, and it threw Spain into complete political and martial chaos. And so during this civil war, Franco did end up winning. Franco was backed by fascist forces. He was and he was direct allies with Mussolini and Hitler.
Boo.
Mm-hmm. And, this is pre-World War II. This is Indiana Jones territory, where everybody's just whispering about that Hitler fellow. He's probably a bad egg.
If you think that.
You need to read more.
Anyways.
So in 1937, so this coup occurred in 1936. In 1937, the Spanish Civil War is in full flare, and the town of Guernica is in northern Spain in Basque country.
Okay.
Which that's already contentious because the Basque people have been subject to stigma, I think, in the same ways that our First Nations people were subject to stigma in 19th century America. Does that make sense? Like,
absolutely. I just finished a book called The Buffalo Hunter,
mm-hmm.
and a lot of it is written from the point of view of a Lutheran priest in 1912 living in Montana.
Mm-hmm. The Basque people are very proud of their culture and have not gotten to keep a lot of it historically. Okay. And so it's in Basque country. The area really represented the idea of independence and self-governance. And
they bombed them.
They bombed them. So in order to test carpet bombing techniques and munitions, it was called Operation Condor, was a joint force between Italian and German forces that waited until market day to bomb a civilian city. And what's interesting is that it's still to this day disputed whether or not that was an appropriate target. Like the Wikipedia article says that under the laws of 1937, mm-hmm. it was technically legally considered a military target.
Right.
Any other article that I read about it, or any other account of it,
the Geneva Conventions had not happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they had death tolls ranging from 1,600 to 300 because of this dispute. And I saw this really interesting interview with one of the survivors. Actually, she's 90. She hid under a car, and she's talking about the smell of burnt bodies. The thing is that whether or not it was a quote-unquote appropriate military target or not, the fact of the matter is that they had intelligence that it was a civilian city. Mm-hmm. They had intelligence that the city was more full with its rural outlier residents because it was market day, and they came back hours afterward to again carpet bomb the exit routes. They were targeting civilians. They were doing it to test their weapons. They were doing it to test flight techniques and destruction techniques that would then be used in communities all across Europe during World War II. And
if I could actually breathe fire, that's what I'd be doing right now.
I can see. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It reminded me of something.
But it was also one of the first internationally recognized civilian bombings. And historians use this point as one of the turning points of humanity recognizing and addressing human rights issues in war zones. The Geneva Convention wouldn't have existed in the same way, in the same sense, if it hadn't been for the outrage caused by this bombing.
Right. I don't know what it was like back then, but nowadays governments have acceptable loss ratios. If we want oil from the Strait of Hormuz or whatever it's called, then, and I'm just making these numbers up off the, right, this isn't for real, but if we say, well, we think it's acceptable to lose 4,000 Americans fighting to get this whatever we want. Mm-hmm. That's just a thing.
Yeah, acceptable loss.
That's disgusting.
Risk ratios exist in every tactical situation, but the idea of adding civilians into those risk ratios, having it exist is horrifying enough, but adding civilian casualties into those risk ratios is a non-starter. It is unacceptable.
You know good and well that if we say it's acceptable to lose 4,000 military people, then we also, not written down, or maybe written down, what do I know, say, and therefore it's acceptable to blow up 40,000 of their civilians. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Yeah,
we're cool with that. It's not just here, with every government.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So Picasso saw the coverage of this, and he decided to create a tribute artwork that is the size of this room.
Yeah, it looked like it.
And it was funny. A lot of the videos I was watching prepping for this, we're asking like, well, what do we think that the cow symbolizes, and what do we think that the woman with the crying child symbolizes? And when asked about the symbolism, Picasso himself said, quote, "It is not up to the painter to define the symbols. Otherwise, it would be better if he wrote them out in so many words. The public who look at the picture must interpret the symbols as they understand them."
Yep.
He's telling
like
a story of a particular time and a place, but you have to tell the story of how you feel about it.
That's why one thing that really, I like it, because I feel like it makes an argument for how I feel about this, although you could easily say the opposite. I get so annoyed when, in school when they're like, and the reason Shakespeare uses bird imagery, and I'm like, maybe he just freaking liked birds, you big morons.
You can't extrapolate emotion. That's the point of historical fiction. You can use the facts as a framework, and the emotion is always fiction. It's always how we've interpreted it.
My attitude on it ruins the whole point of higher education, but whatever.
No, it doesn't. It just means we need to be having more honest conversations within higher education, and nobody wants to do that.
No, because otherwise the grad students couldn't be like, well, according to the philosophy of yada yada, then the symbolism here is blah blah blah. I hated that part.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. So the Spanish Civil War actually also marked a turning point in the U.S.'s involvement in pre-World War II European conflicts.
Oh.
Because if I asked you when the U.S. entered World War II, you would say Pearl Harbor. I would have too. So the international brigades are a thing that should also be absolutely being taught with this history. It's something I had never heard of. They were volunteer brigades from all over the world that were the very first frontline warriors against global fascism. Our brigade was called the Lincoln Brigade, which in 1936 went to Spain to fight in the Spanish Civil War against fascism. The Lincoln Brigade, I'm going to quote here from a book by Mark Crawford called The Lincoln Brigade. So the day after Christmas 1936, a group of 96 Americans sailed to help Spain defend its democratic government against fascism. Ultimately, 2,800 United States volunteers reached Spain to become the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. Few Lincolns had any military training. More than half were seriously wounded or died in battle. Most Lincolns were activists and idealists who had worked with and demonstrated for the homeless and the unemployed during the Great Depression.
So they sent the Peace Corps?
Yeah. The Peace Corps didn't exist. The Peace Corps decided it was going.
Basically. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were poets. They were blue-collar workers, professors, students, seamen, and
people of the sea.
People of the sea. Sailors and journalists. Lawyers and painters, Christian, Jews, black, whites. They were the first non-segregated brigades to come out of the United States ever.
That's really depressing.
And I don't know. I think it's hopeful.
It is hopeful, but it's like, I'm very jaded these days, straight up.
Now, as I told you earlier, jaded is just experience you got the hard way. Just because you feel salty about it does not.
I'm just like half jaded, half apathetic these days. But I'm like, yeah, because that's where our ideals get us. Nowhere.
Our ideals are worth fighting for in any age.
They are, I know.
You don't get to see the shade that they grow.
Interesting. Okay.
So when a Nazi officer saw Guernica and asked Picasso, "Was that you who did that?" and Picasso's answer was, "No, you did." Protest art represents hope to me. Like these things like the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, even if they weren't ultimately successful, they were for a time, and they will be again. Their ideals are universal, and we will always fight against fascism, even if it's just us poets.
Right. Like I've appreciated lately, like musicians who you would normally be like, they're obviously this way, who are suddenly putting out songs where they're like, ICE is going to come bust down your door. Mm-hmm. And I'm all, oh, a country singer's allowed to say that?
We're all allowed to say that.
Sign me up.
Humans are allowed to protest inhumanity.
As we should.
And to leave it on, I hate to leave things on a sad note, but this is
sad. You're reminding me to stop being so apathetic.
A tapestry reproduction of the painting hangs in the United Nations Security Council in New York. It's meant to represent the horrors of war, so that the people who are making the decisions that can predicate those horrors always have the idea front and center, which I think Picasso really would have enjoyed that concept.
Yeah.
In 2003, when the U.S. announced its invasion of Iraq, they had it covered
Is it still covered?
I don't know.
If you know the answer, you should tell us.
You should.
It's interesting.
And as unhopeful as that ending is, never lose hope as long as humanity has humanity. When we remember our communities, we'll remember who we are.
That's true. That's true.
Well, thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.